Hi guys, welcome to my channel. What I wanted to open up the channel with is something that influences the majority of my life. But what I would like to eventually find on my channel is things how to deal with endometriosis, fashion for plus size, beauty, makeup, all of the above, and a bit of my life and a bit of vlogs. So welcome to the channel, welcome to my journey, and I will kick off with the thing that influences my life the most, realistically speaking. So I'm not going to give you a definition of what endometriosis is. I'll put a description on the bottom. I think that there's so many small things that I can say wrong that I just prefer to leave it to the professionals. Or I'll just stick a thing here and pause myself for a second. But my journey with endometriosis was... I started my periods at around, I would say around 13, 14, and then they were completely irregular. I also have PCOS, by the way. And then because of that, we went to the gynecologist, and because I also started going out with my husband at the moment, I went on the pill, and so I started getting on the pill when I was 17. I think I was on the pill till I was like 24, 25, basically after the wedding and blah, blah, blah. And after we started trying to, not after, before we started trying to conceive. And before that even, when I was on the pill, the breaks that I had were extremely painful. I felt completely not livable with in that week that I haven't been taking the pills, and I asked my doctor about it. She actually told me to continue with the pills, which I think made a few things also not, I'm not going to say not the greatest, but actually kind of worse. I don't know how, but that's my feelings about it. So after we started kind of going into the trying to conceive discussions and with the doctors and all of that, and because I have PCOS, we already knew that there are going to be some issues with that, and we went to a doctor that was supposed to help us a bit more in a natural way rather than just straight ahead going into IVF. Nothing kind of worked, and the thing is that everybody said to me I always had PCOS, and that I knew. PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome. With that comes irregular periods, potential not ovulating, cysts that are growing, and all of that. I will leave a description as well. But my pains was always described as PCOS issue. My irregular periods and my extremely, whatever you want to call them, flowy periods were explained as PCOS. So for me, basically since the wedding, so the wedding was 2010, I would say since 2011 when I really got off the pill, till a year ago, no, actually a year and a half ago, I was living on extremely irregular periods, but also when the period was on, extremely painful. But also the thing that I noticed, and that's something that I ignored quite a bit, and I'm sure that the doctors ignored it quite a bit as well because of that, was because for me, I was always told that everything that is connected to that is PCOS connected. Because any pain that I would have, which I thought is like an ovulation pain, I never connected them, basically, because I never knew what endometriosis is. But I'm assuming if you're here, either you know me at the moment, or you know about something about endometriosis and you want to learn more. So for me, I started with the moment we started trying for a child, all of these things kind of tried. We did more tests and all of that, but nobody's seen endometriosis. You can't see endometriosis in ultrasound. So nobody has seen it, nobody has ever mentioned it, not my GPs, not my gynos, and all of that. So for me, I was a lot of the times in pain in the office. My teams always knew basically when I had my period because I was in so much pain that I was working on the floor. I mean, I work in an office, and you know, everything that should be happening is exactly what you have right now, right? I sit on the chair, I work on my laptop. But when I had endo flare-ups, I would literally be on the floor, lying on the floor, because I couldn't miss all the days in work, and we didn't have a policy of working from home at the time. So it was constant, basically coming to the office and being in absolute bits, having hot water bottle with me, either sitting like this or either sitting with a blanket around my waist, or with a hot water bottle, and or working on the floor in the weirdest positions on my back or on my belly, because it was the only comfortable position, because sitting was so painful. And I would say about the beginning of 2020, my doctor mentioned to me, listen, it could be endometriosis, and that was my GP, and that is after 8 years of dealing with it. So for me, you know, that part of it might be endometriosis. Now, the more I know and the more I Google, the more I read about it, the more I talk to the doctors, I can understand why it takes so long, but there should be more knowledge for the doctors to know about it. And I don't think that enough doctors understand it and know what, when, and how, because I can see also that a lot of older people, older 35, and I'm calling other people older, a lot of people that are above 50 or 45 plus, I would say, I think that a lot of the knowledge that doctors have then also wasn't the greatest, because a lot of people that I think they have adenomyosis rather than endometriosis actually were told that they have endo, and they were told, oh, we took this and this, or oh, I took my uterus out and everything is great. It won't help endo. I have adenomyosis as well, and yes, the coil helped me massively, but it didn't help the endo pains. So I'm kind of approaching each pain in a different way. But for me, the moment that doctor, that my GP said it could be endometriosis, that's kind of when the journey started. And I would say, hold on, right. So the moment that the doctor said it could be endometriosis, and he referred me to a gyno that I spoke to, that turns out actually my friend also was diagnosed with endometriosis through her, which was great to know, and to know a bit about her before going to her. It was really interesting in my opinion. So I went to that gynecologist, and if you have any questions about, if you're in Ireland, if you want to know a bit more about the specific doctors that I went to, DM me or whatever. But I went to the gynecologist, and we spoke about all of my symptoms and all of my symptoms throughout the years, and she said, listen, I actually genuinely think you have endometriosis, but there's only one way of truly discovering that you have, or true diagnosing that you have endometriosis, and it is a surgery. And the more you read about it, there's literally no other way of doing that, because endometriosis can only be seen on the actual organs. I went to MRI, and on MRI you could see that I have spots, and the doctor said, listen, I think it's endo, but it also could be because by your PCOS, because of the cysts. So we scheduled a date for the surgery, and that was my first surgery. And I will ask my husband to put in the right term for that surgery that I had. I know it was laparoscopic, but basically the idea was that it was, I mean, all of the surgeries that I had around this were laparoscopic. Because there is no need to open me up for that. But basically that first surgery was checking that I have endometriosis. So basically kind of biopsy, kind of checking it inside, looking inside with the camera and all of that. But also if there was endometriosis found, to basically burn it with a laser. Because she's not qualified, if I'm not mistaken, to do anything more than that. But we didn't know how much was there. We didn't know, how bad it would be. So basically we went into the surgery, and it was kind of an exploration kind of thing. But what she wanted to see is, do I actually have endo? And that was the key thing for that surgery. And after she's seen after the surgery, after we spoke about it, and after she's seen my insides, basically she has told me that it's much more severe that she thought that it was, and that she would have to basically refer me to a much more qualified surgeon for that. And it's not that she's not qualified, but she's not an oncology surgeon. And basically that other doctor was a man, and a very interesting man. Again, great doctor. Personality, different, but a bit of really, really good doctor. And we got along after the second visit. But basically, after talking with him, he said, you definitely have endometriosis, you definitely have stage 4 endometriosis. I think you also have adenomyosis, and we will do surgery, we will cut everything out. And on top of that, I would like to put a coil in. Put in the name of the coil. Again, I'm really bad with any medical terms, so anything I say Gilad put in, he will edit it and put in the proper names of them. But basically that surgery, that was really fast, and it was kind of a surprise for me, because I think when you get the first diagnosis, after 8 or 9 years of dealing with pain around your period, around random times, but around the same area, not knowing what it is, struggling with conceiving, you have no idea what it is. You're so used to it, and you're also so used to being dismissed by doctors, by men, by managers, by female managers, men managers, male managers. And I think you get so, I don't know if I want to put it in, like, I think you just get into such a dismissive level with yourself. Oh no, it's nothing. I mean, if a doctor is saying, if everybody else is saying that it is nothing, or you should just get used to it, you kind of say that to yourself, like, this is normal, this is what other people go through. And for me, getting a diagnosis with that first surgery, and also the way he said it, the second surgeon, getting their diagnosis was a bit of world changing in a way. It was so approving of what I'm actually feeling, of my pain. It changed a lot of things inside, and I think that a lot of people would feel the same who got their diagnosis after so many years. I think there is a lot of unspoken trauma, if I want to call it this way, and I know it's super hyped word, and PTSD from this, and we have this and that, and I'm not dismissing it. I absolutely think that people have PTSD from things that we would not think about that they could be they could have PTSD from. I don't think that if you're not in that situation and people tell you, oh, I have a trauma from that, I don't think that a lot of us would dismiss it. But I think that people who have gone through all of that, have gone through all of dismissal, there is a trauma from that, because I think that at the moment, the way I look at my body, and if I'm sick or if something happens, I just go, oh, it's grand, it's fine, it's nothing, it's nothing bad, the doctors won't help me anyway. And that's purely from dealing with endometriosis and kind of how the doctors always treated me. And I'm not being mean to the doctors, I'm not saying that I had shit doctors, completely not. I just don't think there's enough knowledge about it. I don't think that the doctors are taught enough about it. I think that the fact that you're dealing with people that want to kind of move on into the next patient, and they don't know enough to truly investigate, because it's such an unspoken thing about, I don't think that it's for us to blame them. But on the other hand, it is the trauma that you get it. Like it happens for a reason. So for me, I think at the moment, every pain, every weakness, I kind of dismiss it because I kind of go, well, nobody will anyway, will look into it, or people just tell me it is what it is, you had endometriosis. And the same after the second surgery. My second surgery was much more invasive. It took about an hour and 15 minutes. And that, the trick, I would go with, so I think differently. Cut this out. So when the doctor came in and after the second surgery, and he explained to me what has he done and what will be the causes of it and what will be the effects of it afterwards, he said to me that hysterectomy takes 15 minutes to do. My surgery took an hour and 15 minutes to do. It kind of hits you how bad it really was. But basically what he has done with the second surgery was that thing, which was basically actually cutting out the pieces or the cells of endometriosis from my organs. And I had them in these places, but basically a lot of the things were connected. And my second recovery, the recovery from my second surgery was so much harder than from the first one. The first surgery, I was in and out on the same day. I walked myself downstairs because it was in the middle of COVID. My husband couldn't come with me. So basically, I had the first surgery in August 2020. My husband couldn't come with me. I woke up, had the toast after the surgery, and left by myself to the car because he couldn't come up to me. He wasn't able to leave me upstairs. It was basically from the moment that I entered the hospital, he was not able to be with me. So after the first surgery, I was like, okay, Grant, no problem. I just came downstairs. I mean, don't say me wrong, obviously I was still sedated, but I felt strong enough to come downstairs to the hospital, outside of the hospital. My husband picked me up. The second surgery was not that. I stayed 2 nights in the hospital. I felt absolutely shit. It took me to feel semi-okay. It took me about 3 weeks. And I'm happy to do maybe real or maybe something shorter of the things that I think you should take to that kind of surgery. But basically after the surgery, where he put the coil as well, Gilad will put the name of it because I can't pronounce it. But basically that helped quite a bit. But I think it helped quite a bit because of my adenomyosis. And that was the bleeding, and that was around the actual period time. The endo pain itself, I think it got better, but it didn't disappear. I think that because I had my uterus and something else connected, and something around basically the nerve that is connected to one of the tubes that is connected to something. If Gilad wants to, he can put things here. But basically he also touched a bit of the nerve around my bladder, which is causing another issues. But also what I always had, not always, but what I had for a few years at this stage is the pain in my left ovary. Not the best with sides, by the way, but basically that is causing pressure on the leg and that nerve on the leg, and that has been there for so many times, for so many years at this stage, that I'm used to it, but it still hurts. So basically my leg goes a bit numb, it feels weird, it feels super tense. I'm not going to describe the pains of everything because it's not pleasant. And it's not a competition of who hurts more, but basically that part has not left me. That leg pain, that leg numbness has never left. And for that I try to do with medication. I try to deal with the heat. But for me, the main things, and I kind of wanted to give 5 tips of what I think works the best for me, except the medication, because I think I am a believer in medication. But for me, I think that the medications are there to help, but you need to find the right ones that help you. But on top of the medication, what helps me are a few things. After the first surgery, I was bloated like hell. The bloatness never has gone. After that, I was actually so much more bloated after the first surgery than I have been before, and that's something that really annoys me, and I don't know why that is. Because I had my surgery almost 2 years ago, the first one at this stage, but after the surgery they told me to drink peppermint for the bloatness, and it absolutely helps. I am not a big person on pure teas, so I do drink it with milk. No, not with milk, with honey. I really like it with honey. I do it in the evenings or whenever I feel a bit too bloated. I don't think that a lot of the bloating capsules help me, but peppermint helps. It's not going to flat you out, but it helps in the feeling. The other few things that I genuinely think help, hot please, because it's under things. So I would say heating pad. I would say definitely heating pads. I have them everywhere, in every room in my house. This is one that a friend got me. It's actually one that wraps around your back as well, so it wraps around your tummy. I love this because in theory it's for the back, but for me this is for the V area, and it wraps perfectly, and I am a size 20, and weirdly it still wraps around me, so I'm very happy about that. I have a portable heat pad as well. By the way, these ones, my dog actually uses them as well. But I have the portable one. It looks like I'm going for an explosion, but this part basically heats up. This has 3 levels of heating, and it's really cool because I can walk around the house, so I can actually take it outside as well, and it helps a lot. The other thing that I also have, but I can't find it at the moment, so I'm not going to show you. I have the tense machine. So basically it sends electric current, I think. It's like electric current to like stickers, and I put it around. So basically I put the area that hurts in between them, and it deflects your body. Kind of your body thinks more about the electricity that flows rather than about the pain, and it helps. The other thing, hold on. The other thing that I could not live without, because I can't live in jeans, and I love jeans, but I can't live in tight jeans because A, I'm a very much of an apple body, so I don't like the look of my belly being out. It's my personal choice. And I don't like tight things, especially after the second surgery, because with the bloating, I'm just like, nope, thank you. I'm hoping that the cutting of the grass is not going to disturb this, because I'm at the end of the video and I really don't want to stop it right now. But the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is elastic pants. And for me, I get my majority of them from Marks & Spencer. I love them. They're comfortable and they don't put pressure on my stomach. I have these ones which are a bit more work related. I can put a picture here, I think, let's hope. And I have these ones are also from Marks & Spencer, and they're super wide, and you can tie them wherever you feel. They're a white leg. I like it, I like the look as well, but they're also very comfortable, so for me it's perfect. But yeah, I would say endo is not fun. It is something that we don't have. We as people who have it, we know our own feelings, but there is not enough knowledge. There is not enough knowledge about it. There is not enough research done about it. There is not enough education done about it. I did a lot of scrolling through Instagram, through forums and stuff like that. because there is just not enough there from the doctors. But there is hope. That's the way I feel. It's something that majority of us will live with for the rest of our lives, because, sorry, it's something that majority of us will live with majority of our lives. There is no cure. For adeno, you can take out the uterus, 35, and I don't think that I want to do that drastic step yet to encounter all of the things that having an early menopause can bring on top. So for me, at the moment, living with adeno and coil is relatively okay. Living with endo, I mean, it is what it is, kind of. I'm not going to say that it's great, but I got used to it. But I also got used to it in a way of, I actually quit my job, and I know that the next job that I will get to, or the next job that I will be joining, or the next position that I will go to, or the next company that but I know that the next company that I will join will allow me to work hybridly from home and from the office. I will just not accept any other offer, because I don't think that my body is capable of doing that. And there is a lot of people that have and are great people, and I think it's great to have a community online that understands you, that helps you, and that you can rant to, and never hide your ranting. Don't be embarrassed of it. Don't think that you're the only person in the world that is dealing with it, but also don't think that it's normal. Periods that are extremely painful are not normal. Having period pains that are shooting to your legs are not normal. Having weird ovulation pains is not normal. Push your doctor. Sometimes the doctors don't know, but if you don't know, how can you push a doctor? And it's like a weird circle, but there's a lot of people saying advocate for yourself. Absolutely. If you know, do that. And even if you don't know more, or if you haven't Googled and you're trusting the doctor, just push the doctor a bit more. Try to test a bit more. There is hope, there is life with it. There is relationships with it. They're not as normal relationships around specific things, but yeah, there is hope. There is a lot of us with it. It's normal. It's not normal periods wise, but there is enough people. You are not a freak. You should be. You are okay, and a lot of people will validate you. There's people outside that will validate you, that will support you, that will not think that you're just exaggerating, that they will not think that you're just being a drama queen. You're valid, basically. Not you're valid, but your emotions are validated. Your feelings, your pain is valid, and you're entitled to feel it and feel that much pain. I hope you're not, but if you are, I'm sorry that you are. I hope that video might bring you a few good points. You might feel a bit better after it, you might not. You might understand a bit more of what I dealt with. I'm happy. I will definitely do a few more videos around endometriosis. I would love to do one with my husband around what he thinks about the whole process, but also how it influences the relationships and stuff like that. Yeah, so whatever questions you have, whatever comments you have, feel free to leave them at the bottom, DM me on Instagram, wherever. And I hope you're okay, and I hope today is not a painful day, because that also helps. And that's it. I hope you follow the journey, and I hope you clicked on the subscribe button, and if you can do the like, you know, the normal YouTube spin thingy. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Get Out, for the help with it, and I will see you in the next one. See you. Bye.